Kathopanishad says, "Na tatra suryo bhati, na chandra tarakam, nema vidyuto kutoyam agnihi, tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam, tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati." It's one of the most beautiful shlokas from the Upanishads. And it says, "Na tatra suryo bhati." There the sun does not shine, nor does the moon shine. There is no lightning over there. What to talk about this fire that burns here on earth? But as that shines, everything else shines in its light. And just as it shines, so as everything else. Sun in our culture and all cultures of the world is considered sacred and auspicious. Most of the cultures celebrate sun as some form of divinity because sun always does good to others. Without the sun at the center of the solar system, our life on earth is not possible. And everything else, everyone shines in the light of that sunlight only, which does not need any support because it is self-effulgent. However, our scriptures go one level deeper and say, no, sun is not the ultimate source of light. The light of all lights is that consciousness which makes us even experience the sunlight. Without that very consciousness powering us all, we can't even experience the warmth and the light of the sun. Therefore, that consciousness is the light in whose light even the sun, the moon, the lightning, the fire and everything else shines. And the beauty of the shloka, it says it not just shines when it shines, but it shines as it shines. For instance, if there is a red colored light in the room, everything else will look reddish. Or in a yellow hue of light, everything looks yellowish. Likewise, in the consciousness of Brahman, everything appears as Brahman only. This is our scripture. If we see ourselves as different from that God, that Brahman, it means there is some darkness. There is a cloud that is covering that light. In the darkness, we consider a rope as a snake and get scared. However, when the true light shines, we know there was never a snake in the first place. There was only this rope. And the fear and the anxiety and the worries were illusory. They were never there in the first place. It was an imagination. Only when the consciousness of Brahman shines within and without that we see the world in its true light in the true way. Till then, this world appears as different from us. Our Srinivas said, how to define you, how to define me, how to define us. Because we are not different. How to address, how to call you. Because we are not different. This oneness is the only truth. There is no other truth in the world. Everything else is a derivative of this truth. The original and the only truth is the truth of oneness of consciousness. And the one who knows this, 𝘭𝘪𝘨𝘩𝘵 brahmaiva bhavati. The one who knows this truth becomes the truth. That is the only way to know this truth. Everything else you can know in the world as something other than you. But how do you know yourself? By becoming yourself. By being what you are, you know who you are. Likewise, our scriptures very clearly define, knowing the oneness is becoming the oneness. There is no other way. And that oneness manifests itself as pure love for all. For an ant to an elephant, from a baby to an old man, from animate to inanimate, for everything that knowledge of the self practically manifests as purest of love, without any expectations and conditions. So what you see in the light of that love, these hospitals, schools, colleges, ashrams and centers are simply the manifestation of that knowledge of truth. That there is only one, all of us are one. And when we know that, even one of us knows that, that one will be able to express that knowledge as love in every thought, word and action. And what you see outside is simply the manifestation and expression of that truth as love and service. Somebody asked me, some child, once you become brahmagyani, would you not become, when you know everything is an illusion, then what will you do? Would you like to participate in the world at all? Would you like to withdraw and be your own, be in your own space? Now, what happens when you attain brahmagyana? What happens? More schools happen, more hospitals happen, more giving water happens, more giving of nutrition happens, more loving of people happens, making the society even better happens, spreading joy and cheer to one and all happens, embracing all as your own, as yourself happens. All this is the byproducts of brahmagyana. What does not happen, I can tell you, is just the opposite of it. You become recluse, hide somewhere, don't want to deal with the lower beings who have no knowledge of the self. These don't happen. What happens is all this. How do you know there is a brahmagyani around? Look around what's happening. Look at the shadow and you know what the object is. Look at the reflection and you know what the source is. Look at all that which manifests around this place and you know what's happening here. Therefore, the best thing you can do as service to the world is to know who you are. Once you know that, you know everything else. And in that knowing, all this happens. All the auspiciousness happens. And Sankranti is a significant festival because this is now the end of the winters and the onset of spring. It will lead to the warm summers. There's a change of season. There's change of light during the day. There's more light, daylight, and less of darkness. And so to say, there is an upward or a northward movement of the sun. The truth is, sun does not move at all. We all know by now. Even scientifically we know. It appears that sun is moving. Likewise, 𝘰𝘓𝘦𝘯𝘴 appears to happen in us. But we are always living in that truth only, unaware of it. There is no uprising that will happen on this day or in any of the days to follow. But only a revelation will happen. A revelation that we alone are that. There is nothing other than that. That is the truth that Sankranti brings us to understand and realize. When we set our eyes on Brahman, when we set our eyes means Brahman cannot be seen with physical eyes. When our vision becomes Brahman's vision, when we see everything in that light as one, that light of knowledge, that is true Sankranti. That Sankranti cannot be celebrated in a physical way. That's a very deep understanding, a spiritual understanding of the truth. That is true Sankranti. But as I said, that knowledge manifests as love and service outside. So it can be celebrated by loving and serving. That way you still celebrate the truth. Once you know the truth, you do this. Or once you start doing all this, you will get to know the truth. The two-way traffic, I always say. The road that leads from here to Chikbalapur, the same road brings us back too. Either you know the truth of Brahman and then manifest love in the form of selfless service, or start doing selfless service, develop that love, and then know the truth of Brahman. It's possible both ways. So why all these institutions? merely to enable us to realize the truth. Keep doing good work. Kuru punya mahoratram, that is what that's saying. Not enough if you leave the company of atheists and those who don't believe in the higher truth of consciousness, those who only believe this world alone is real and that's all it is. Leave the company of those and join the company of the good, those who believe in God, those who believe in goodness, those who believe in the greater truth of oneness. Join their company. And Kuru Punya Mahoratram, keep doing good day and night. Not enough if you join the company, sit in a corner of the hall and think you will achieve it. No. It has to translate into meaningful action. That's why all these organizations and all the activities. To not just join the company of the good, but to join hands to do good. Day and night we must do good, it is said. And what will happen after that? You'll be able to remember what is real, what is not. Smaranityam, anityatam. Continuously meditate, contemplate what is real, what is unreal, what is true, what is untrue. Continuously we have to meditate. When we forget that, we take unreal for real and get scared with the illusory snake that does not exist in the first place. So continuously contemplating is very important, but that is not possible unless you are continuously engaged in good work. And that is not possible unless you are in the company of the good people. And that is not possible unless you leave the company of the wrong. So it is a very simple way of uplifting ourselves. Uddharet atmanatmanam atmanam avasadayet. Bhagavad Gita said, you alone can uplift yourself. And you alone can be the cause of your own downfall. You alone are your friend, you alone are your enemy, it says. It depends on what you decide to do with yourself. And Sankranti is one more chance to begin this effort, renew this effort, to recommit yourself towards this effort of your own upliftment. Atmano mokhyartam. Sankranti is just a significant time which reminds us again that we have to double our efforts, renew our efforts, rededicate and recommit ourselves to this greater cause of realization of the self within and manifestation as love outside, without. That is the whole purpose. That's love all, serve all. Love all part is this Brahman, knowledge of the self. Serve all part is the manifestation of that Brahman as doing good to everyone who is around you. This Sankranti also brings a lot more good, auspicious beginnings. Because this year is going to be filled with several beginnings, auspicious beginnings. Auspicious for ourselves and for the whole world. Right here, from here, many things would be started. People from around the world, leaders of the world would arrive here to seek guidance, to seek strength, to seek direction in leading their people in their own lands. This place, like the sun, will shed light of the truth on all humanity who are groping in the darkness of ignorance and selfishness and the limited thinking of their existence as mere bodies and minds. This place will shine the light of truth on all of them and help them realize that we are much more than flesh and bones, or thoughts and emotions. We are the spirit, the self, the truth. That message will be sent out from this place, loud and clear to the whole world. So this place is a very significant place. It has a very, very important role to play in directing humanity towards divinity in the coming times. Some of it will happen through service activities, some of it will happen through sadhana, some of it will happen through satsanga. Many ways this will manifest itself. And this is not my will. This is not our Narasimhamurthi's will or Dr. Srinivasa's will or any of our. This is the divine will, that one will which does everything. So you are fortunate. You are fortunate. We all are fortunate. Because we are not merely the audience. or the witness, but we are the very participants in this great work. And somehow, with good fortune of many lives or blessings of many gurus, this opportunity has come our way. What did we do to deserve it? That you have to ask yourselves. But somehow, for whatever reason, this has come our way. What do we do with it now? We rise with it, we stay with it, or we fall down without it. Decide for yourself. Sankranti is that moment of truth, that moment of that decision. How do I want to lead my life here onwards? I want to see that divinity manifest more and more and more in each one of us. And that will happen with efforts. It's not something that will just happen because you landed here by chance. That's only Bhajasadu Samagam, the second step. Third and fourth won't happen. That needs efforts. That effort each one of us has to put. This morning I woke up and then I wanted to see the sun rising from the darkness. You see, the whole process I wanted to see. How it removes the darkness of all ignorance from all lives. All the trees and the houses and the hills which were not visible a while ago. Suddenly there is a beginning. Slowly it's turning bright. And that hue of redness everywhere in the sky. And then we wait and wait and wait for that moment of truth. And then through the dark eastern skies, a golden disc pierces through, cuts through all the darkness, tears the darkness with such confidence, such valor, such courage, and rises gradually till every tree, every leaf, every animal and bird and the house and men, hills and lands become completely clearly visible to the eyes. The whole phenomenon of sunrise is so beautiful, and it is simply the beauty of divinity manifesting as a sunrise. And Sankranti sunrise is even more significant because it tells us that this is how Atman should manifest in ourselves. This is another beginning, another day. God is never tired of giving us another opportunity to start. Always willing to let us another chance to begin. So what if we didn't start yesterday? Begin today, God says. There is another sunrise, another opportunity, another Sankranti. So to all of you, on this Sankranti, all that I want to say is strive. Strive till you achieve. Don't give up. Don't be complacent. Don't undermine and undervalue this opportunity that has come your way. You might be a child in the class 6th, or you might be a university student, you might be a newcomer, you might be an old devotee, you might be a part of the mission, you might be on the fence as an audience, whatever be your position here is. For everyone there is a chance to rise and realize. That is the idea of Sankranti. May this light of wisdom, this truth, this knowledge shine within and without. May in this light of truth, we see everyone as ourselves. We see everyone as one. May that oneness, that knowledge of oneness manifest as pure love for all beings, sentient and insentient. May that love reach out to the downtrodden, the marginalized, the suffering as service. And may that uplift the whole humanity into divinity with these words of blessings and good wishes to each one of you who is here and those who are watching on the webcast, and those who will wake up after some time in another country and will watch all the proceedings, and those subtle beings who are here manifested and watching all the proceedings, to all of them, my heartfelt blessings, that may this Sankranti truly, truly be an auspicious beginning on this journey of you towards yourself.